Everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new release DC Comics Multiverse 6-inch Supergirl TV series Supergirl figure from Mattel. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we've been seeing with all the DC Comic Multiverse figures. You've got the red box with the black highlights. Up at the very top, you've got the Supergirl TV series logo. Then you've got the DC Comics Multiverse logo. The figure's clearly displayed in the window box packaging. And then down below, you have an image of the character from the TV show, the name, and it tells us it comes with one of the new 52 Doomsday Collect and Connect pieces. On the side of the packaging, we again have an image of the character from the TV show and a brief bio. And then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at the new 52 Doomsday Collect and Connect figure, and then all the figures you need to get in order to complete that Collect and Connect figure. So right now, figures 1, 2, 4, and 6 are hitting shelves, hitting Target shelves to be exact. And then figure number 3, the prisoner Lex Luthor figure from Dawn of Justice and the mutant leader from The Dark Knight Returns have yet to be released. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. So here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now the only accessory this figure actually comes with is the left leg for the new 52 Collect and Connect Doomsday figure. And once all the figures are released and I have all the pieces, then we'll do a review for Doomsday in its own video. Right now only the first 4 figures have been released, so I'll still be missing 2 figures. But once those 2 are released, the Lex Luthor and the mutant leader, then I'll do a review of Doomsday in its own review. So be sure to check back for that. So for the figure itself, this figure definitely has some issues which I'll tell you about, but it actually looks a little bit better than I initially thought it would. When we saw the initial press images the other week, I really was not terribly excited for this figure. So I actually think, especially with the face sculpt, it looks better than I thought it initially would. Now I do think with the eyes, I think the way they painted the eyes, it throws it off a little bit. And then I also think the lipstick they've given her is too bright. You know, it's too pink. Now, based on the image that you see on the side of the packaging, that's kind of what she's wearing, but from what I recall from the TV series, her lipstick was not that pink. But the biggest issue I have with the head sculpt comes with the hair. So you'll notice they gave it a wash effect where you've got this darker brown and then the lighter yellow for her blonde hair, and it doesn't look too bad from the front, but when you look at it from behind, I don't know what happened here, but it definitely looks like something messed up, and you just got this brown, solid brown splotch from the top of her head that goes all the way down to the bottom. So it looks like she's just got this brown streak, and so it really throws the figure off from behind. Hopefully it's just with my figure or, you know, a limited run of figures and it's something they fixed, but definitely that looks off from behind. For the rest of the figure, I don't think it looks too bad. I like the paint, the gold trim on the S symbol. I don't like the red lines. I think they show up too dominantly on this figure. In the actual TV series, she does have these red lines, but they don't show up nearly as much. So I think it would have been better if they'd made these lines a little thinner. So again, I think they're too predominant on the figure. And then for the shirt itself, they didn't do any kind of texturing like you see with like the Superman figure. You know, she basically wears the same kind of costume as the movie Superman does with this kind of texturing. And so you don't have any of that. You just have the blue. They just used a solid blue paint. So that it doesn't bother me too much, but it would have been nice, I think, if they'd given that extra texturing. Then she's got just the red cape, and it's done with that vinyl material, and she's got this skirt piece, and this is actually a separate piece. I think it's supposed to be glued, but it came, like, it was a little crooked when I took it out of the packaging, so you can kind of straighten it. So just be wary that is a separate piece on the figure. So if it comes out of the package, you know, this was kind of off to the side a little bit, so just be wary of that. It, again, is just that vinyl material. And she does have blue trunks underneath. And then for the legs, she's supposed to be wearing stockings, so they just kind of painted the skin color of the leg a darker color. And there's no texturing or line work for like stockings of any kind. It's just a darker paint job. It doesn't look too bad. And then she's got the red boots that go from, you know, basically her thigh all the way down to her feet, and those look pretty good for the most part. Now I do have a little bit of paint sloppiness here on the one arm. You can see some red markings. That's probably just with my figure, but just wanted to point that out. And also a little bit of paint sloppiness on the hands where the blue meets the skin tone. You can see a little bit of the blue washed over onto the skin tone. And one thing I just want to point out, you'll notice here at the midsection there's some discoloration on the blue plastic as I caused some stress when I started moving that ab crunch joint. So just be wary of that. So this figure stands 6¼ inches tall. Here she is next to the Dawn of Justice movie Superman figure. And even though these two aren't actually part of the same universe, they do wear very similar outfits. And you can see the Supergirl figure is actually a little bit taller than Superman. Here's a comparison with Mattel Suicide Squad Harley Quinn and Dawn of Justice Wonder Woman. And again, these are different universe characters, but I figure what the hell. She is next to a DC Collectibles 7-inch New 52 Martian Manhunter figure, and I'm sure we'll eventually get a 6-inch scale Martian Manhunter figure from Mattel, but I figured since Martian Manhunter is on the tall side, these actually work together pretty well with one another. And finally, here's a comparison between the TV series Flash and TV series Arrow figures. And as I'm sure you're aware, Supergirl will be making the switch over from CBS to the CW next season. Flash did have a crossover with Supergirl this past season, and then I believe there'll be a crossover between all three this coming season. Articulation is pretty much on par with what we see with the other figures in the line. You can turn the head to the left and the right. The hair is a soft rubber type material, so it doesn't really limit the head movement too much. There's no up or down movement with this. Actually, I take that back. She does have a little bit of down movement, but no back movement with the head. You can get the arm out good. She's got good rotation. She's got the single hinged elbow, but she has pretty good bending there. She's got swivels at the elbow, and then she's got swivels on the wrist, but no hinges on the hands. She does have an ab crunch type joint, but she really can't crunch down a whole lot. That's about as far down as she can crunch, and then she can look back a little bit. She's got a waist swivel. Legs are attached with those side hinge joints, and she can do the splits about that much. The skirt does limit it a little bit. She can get her leg forward about that much, and she can do her leg back about that much. She does have a thigh swivel. She's got the double or single jointed knee, so she can bend her knee about that much, and then she's got hinges on the feet, so she's got good up and down movement, but no rotation and no ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say there are some aspects to this figure that I think came out looking better than I initially thought they would. I actually think the face sculpt is not too bad. However, some bad paint applications on this figure do throw it off a bit. The brown on the back of the head with the hair, and then I think the eyes, the paint on the eyes, and the bright pink lipstick throw off the face a bit to me. Also, I think the red lines on the costume are a little too predominant. As far as articulation goes, that could always be improved with these Mattel figures, but if you've been collecting this line or any of these 6-inch Mattel figures, you know what to expect in that regards. So this figure is hitting shelves now, specifically at Target stores. We'll have a full gallery of images up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the description below. As always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.